Motown, the musical. The thing is, going into Baby It's You, we both thought it was going to be, like, awesome. And then we were super disappointed by Baby It's You because we didn't think it was going to be the show it was. We thought it was going to be a standard book musical type of thing.
Yeah.
Like a jukebox musical, more in the sense of, like, more towards a Mamma Mia where they, like, use the songs to tell the story.
Or Jersey Boys.
Or Jersey Boys, which I've never seen.
Yeah, but it's still the story of the band using the music that they created.
Right. But going into this, I was like, it's going to be like that disappointment, Baby It's You.
Yes.
And
True.
It was.
Yes.
It was.
It was.
Possibly the worst show I've ever seen. In
quality.
In written, in the material. The literal material.
Yeah.
Literal material, probably the worst show I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Not in performance.
No.
Production value, pretty close.
Pretty close.
The sets were awful.
The sets were like a tour set because they had so many scene changes and they were in so many different places. I understand why it had to be done like that, but if it had all been simplified, that none of this would have happened.
Yeah. There were so many, not even sets. I'm like, oh, there's so many sets. There weren't so many sets.
No.
There were so many, like, chairs. There was just so many chairs. Oh, this chair is when they're in the Bahamas. This chair is when they're in the office. This chair is when they're in the other office. This chair is the LA office. This chair is the Detroit office. This chair, like, there was just a lot of chairs.
And columns.
And columns, the moving columns. I mean, I would say, obviously, I would have to, like, sit and look at a list to really confirm this. But off the top of my head, worst musical set I've ever seen. That wasn't a tour set.
That's what I was going to say. That wasn't a tour set.
That wasn't a tour set. The Jekyll and Hyde set was pretty terrible, but it was a tour set. So it sort of was
Bring
like,
it on. Tour set.
Tour set. Whoa.
Dreamgirls at the Apollo, an actual tour, so a tour set.
Sure.
There's no way we can talk about Motown without talking about Baby It's You.
It's impossible. And by extension, because I've seen a production of it, Leader of the Pack.
I've never seen a production.
Honestly, which is worse out of the three of them? Not sure. I mean, they're all pretty much the same exact show.
Yeah.
They're literally, you could do like a Coast of Utopia, Leader of the Pack, Baby It's You, Motown. The book, if you can even call it that, I just feel like the problem is all these performers, obviously very talented individuals, and literally, like, we've seen a lot of bad shows. We've seen a lot of bad shows, bad material, where you have great performers turning bad material into good things. This, they didn't even, there's literally, like, not even anything for them to work with.
There's very little material. Especially those actors, the principal actors, who have actual characters, who have actual people to portray.
Right.
There's a lot of material there.
There's a lot of
as
songs.
far as performance is concerned. But I don't want to write a musical of my own life. That seems like a terrible idea to me. I obviously would have a skewed vision of it. I obviously, you know...
I think the entire show was just a laundry list of Berry Gordy being like, I created these people. You certainly do not get the sense that Berry Gordy has any remorse whatsoever about any of the shady shit he did to any of those artists that he brought up.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You found them, you built them up as a brand, but then when all of them wanted to leave for the same reasons over and over again, I want control over some of my material. Like, I want input on the things that I'm doing a little bit more, and like, I want to get paid more. These other record companies are going to pay me so much more, blah, 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 blah. And he was just sort of like, you're ungrateful, I created you. And never, I don't think Berry Gordy, the person, nor the character at the end of the show was like, you know, I put a lot of work into these people, but I also f***ed them over. I don't think he has any moments where in his personal life, I'm sure Berry Gordy, the person, is like, how dare you, I'm awesome.
The problem is, I don't think we can make any sort of assessment about the kind of man Berry Gordy is, because Berry Gordy wrote this about himself, and there's barely anything in it to begin with.
Right.
Maybe I will read. I don't really want to read that book.
No.
This musical didn't make me want to read that book.
Certainly will not read that book.
But if somebody wrote an autobiography of Berry Gordy, maybe after he dies, I would read that.
Yeah. I want to know what actually happened.
Yeah. Any opinions and inferences we're drawing from your show, Berry Gordy, is all because you didn't give us enough information.
All you gave us was one chorus, one verse of each song.
And I already know all of those songs, and I love those songs. And I didn't mind listening to them again, unless it was sung by the guy sitting next to me.
He loved it.
He really did.
He had a
The
great
audience
time.
really loved it.
And like, I feel like the only scene where Berry was kind of like, hey, I'm gonna show my sensitive side, my vulnerabilities, where he was like, oh, I can't get it up with Diana Ross, and it was like, why? No, this is not. That was like when they like diplomatically decide to be in a relationship together. It was like, first of all, I felt nothing between those characters at all whatsoever at any point. There was no chemistry. There was nothing going on between them. They were like, business agreement, you'll be my manager and my lover, but we'll never affect we'll keep them separate. And like they did. And then they, like, there was just nothing happening on that stage.
There's a nice kiss.
When?
Remember? Get it,
Brandon.
Oh,
he did get it.
Yeah.
He did get that kiss.
Yeah.
Because those two actors are great actors,
absolutely.
obviously. So they were like, get it. Yeah, that's true.
Because that was sort of the only affection that they were... Well, that's right. That was the only, scene where affection was written into it.
They were like, kiss each other, and then you were like, yeah. And they were like, they did.
All of a sudden, it was Hitsville, USA. You bought that house? Rented that house? I'm still not sure.
That was really confusing scene where Morgan James was like, hey, that's my house. Why are you putting that house on my sign? Here's a joke for you.
House on my sign.
Hitsville, us. Ha 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 ha. Yeah,
and then Smokey Robinson was like, he put money down on it. And she's like, money down doesn't mean it's his house. And I was like, what?
Is that her house? Was it his house? Was it a house? Was it an office building? What was it?
It was a house. He bought a house to make into a recording studio.
What the was she doing?
She bought it from him, he bought it from her, I think. But then that scene made it unclear as to whether he bought it or renting it. That's what I'm saying.
He was like renting a house, and he was like, I'm gonna put a huge sign on the house. And she was like, hey,
I mean, I'm on her side there if he's renting.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I feel like we saw a really wide range of wig quality. And granted, we were sitting in the last row of the mez, so, you know, some of those wigs, those later in the time period Diana Ross wigs were, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yo, what the was that scene that was her concert, her solo debut? That was like, here's the thing. I love Diana Ross and the Supremes. I love Diana Ross solo artists. I love her music. That whole setup was like, nobody's buying tickets to this Diana Ross concert because it's just Diana Ross and it's not Diana Ross and the Supremes. And then they like gave away all the tickets to get people in there. But then the scene they set up for her concert made me, like, if I didn't know Diana Ross and I went to that, that didn't sell me on Diana Ross. Where she, like, wasn't even singing, the audience was singing for her, she was having the audience sing.
That scene wasn't meant to show anything about Diana Ross. It was meant to please the people in that Broadway audience. Not the pretend audience at the Diana Ross concert. It was to be like audience participation. We're gonna let audience members sing the chorus of this Diana Ross song. It's not like they're not already singing along.
That was like one moment that I was like, oh, they're just gonna show us a Diana Ross concert for like 2 songs. That sounds great. Because that was like the things in Baby It's You that we enjoyed, hated. Or like, I hate that Dionne Warwick is singing 2 songs. Why the hell is Dionne Warwick singing 2 songs? She's killing it.
Yeah.
She's killing it. And I'm loving it. And I was ready for Valisia to just get out there and just like do 2 songs as Diana Ross. I was ready for that. And that is not what happened.
Raymond Luke
Jr. Woof. Wow.
Oh, man.
Such talent.
Just let's do the Jacksons' An American Dream, please. They did a medley, which is fine because they did enough of all 3 songs to make it enjoyable. I could have just watched that. That could have been a concert musical that I would get on board with.
Honestly, if you just cut the scenes, literally cut all the scenes, and just give us those musical performances, I would be like, I don't know what this is, but at least I'm enjoying some amazing performers and performing some amazing material, and I don't have to sit through these crazy, jacked up, awful scenes in between.
And being like, wait, what?
I'm confused. What are we supposed to understand? What's happening?
Yeah.
What? Why does his beard keep changing?
Times, baby.
It was like, we had like beard on, beard off, beard on, beard off, beard on,